With the holidays fast approaching, it's time for a special early festive treat to brighten up your winter days. Yes, it's CompanyNet's regular roundup of changes and new features coming up in Office 365, SharePoint, and in our Kira intranet platform. This month, we have a super selection of updates, mainly coming out of Microsoft's annual Ignite conference. That means we won't necessarily have the full details of some of these new features yet, but hopefully we won't have to wait too long to see them in action. This month, the updates include a complete rewrite of Yammer, the much-awaited sheet view in Excel, and the revelation of the mysterious Project Cortex. If you'd like to find out more about any of these changes, or think we can help you do more with Office 365, get in touch with CompanyNet. We work with businesses and organisations across the UK to help them get more out of their cloud investment. Okay, let's crack on. First up this month is the arrival of Sheet View in Excel. If you're working on a shared spreadsheet but find your work disrupted when people resort data, this update is for you. The new Sheet View option lets you sort and filter data without changing how it looks to others working on the workbook. You can store sheet views for later, and you can share them with others working on the sheet too. You'll soon be able to find Sheet View under the View tab in Excel, and it'll be available in the web version by the end of the year. Now, Microsoft has lately been on a bit of an innovation spree, revealing a bunch of new technologies that will change the way we work. If you've made the switch to Office 365 already, you'll know that that's no exaggeration, with the gradual introduction of things like AI-powered search, making it easier to get more done. The latest announcement is Project Cortex, which turned out to be one of the biggest reveals at Microsoft's Ignite conference. Cortex is the first new Microsoft 365 service since Microsoft Teams, and it'll lead to a huge step forward in the capability of services like Delve and Microsoft Search. In short, Cortex is an AI tool that automatically captures and categorizes information held in the cloud. That means information will be organized and presented in a way that's closer to how most people think. For example, it'll organize your organization's data into topics like projects, services, and customers, no matter where in the cloud that data is stored. For many organizations, Cortex will mean higher productivity and a reduction in information overload. And the best part is nobody has to lift a finger, invest in new processes, or re-architect their information. Cortex will take Delve's popular documents feature and put it on steroids, giving you a highly personalized view of all kinds of knowledge held across your organization. It'll also add detail to content by automatically creating topic cards and attaching them to terms in apps like SharePoint, Outlook, Word, and Teams. Topics will automatically get added to user profiles based on the things your colleagues are working on, so to an extent profiles will be kept up to date automatically, and that'll make it easier to quickly identify subject matter experts within your organization. Cortex will even pull data in from outside of Office 365 by using Microsoft Search connectors to connect to third-party data. Well-known services such as Windows File Share, Salesforce, and ServiceNow can already be connected, and we expect that list to grow. Now let's have a look at a few of the other announcements we gleaned from Microsoft Ignite. Microsoft Teams continues to become more of a pleasure to use, and some new features will make the day-to-day experience even better. Rolling out this month, you'll be able to add polls and surveys to chat and channel conversations, and you'll soon be able to pin your favourite channels to the top of your Teams list for easy access. From early next year, you'll be able to pop Teams chats, meetings, calls, and documents out into separate windows. This new multi-window capability means that you'll be able to keep one eye on your chats, meetings, or calls while navigating around documents and other conversations in Teams. For anybody who's tried to share an email to Teams, you'll know that it's quite a painful process. Microsoft are going to resolve this early next year by adding a Share to Teams button in Outlook that'll let you easily move an email conversation, including any attachments, straight from Outlook into a Teams channel or chat. Finally in Teams, we're looking forward to a new private channel feature. This will let you create a channel within an existing team that can only be viewed and accessed by selected members of that team. However, note that when you create a private channel, Teams also creates a new separate SharePoint site for it. So if you're worried about site sprawl, which many of us are, You should probably use private group chats instead, unless there is a genuine need for document storage and management in your private channel. Now let's turn our attention to Yammer. As we mentioned in last month's video, Yammer remains the black sheep of the Office 365 family, having not really been developed for a number of years since Microsoft acquired the platform. As a discussion forum style channel, it still fills a need that complements the more live and dynamic nature of Teams, but it is really starting to look out of place or even long in the tooth alongside the rest of Office 365. That's about to change as Yammer is being rebuilt from the ground up. It'll be Microsoft's first outing of their new Fluent design system, boasting a fast, modern interface that works great on PCs and on mobile devices, and it'll have lots of great new features too. When the new Yammer rolls out next year, groups will become known as communities. With the new communities, you'll be able to do things like adding a custom cover photo to apply your own branding and pin questions, polls, and announcements to the top of the page. Yammer's new style and functionality will also be brought to the Yammer web parts for SharePoint. This is an excellent update for intranets that use SharePoint as their platform, such as Kira, providing a rich, interactive experience for intranet users. Naturally, the new components will be available for use in our Kira intranet platform as soon as they are released. The full experience of Yammer is also coming to Teams. The new Yammer app for Teams will let you participate in conversations, watch live and on-demand events, and browse your communities from within the Teams app. This eliminates the need to toggle between apps. Now let's take a look at some of the new features announced for SharePoint. Because it's built on SharePoint, these features will also soon be available on intranets built using CompanyNet's Kira platform. First up, visual version history. You'll be able to view all prior versions of a page and switch between them with a visualization of what's changed between those versions. Unfortunately, this low quality image is the only evidence we have of visual version history, but we think it looks great. Next up is multi-language support. You'll soon be able to make your pages available in multiple languages, although as far as we can tell, SharePoint won't translate them for you. Users will be presented with a drop-down menu to select the language they want. It looks like when changes are made to the original page, content authors of the translated pages will be alerted, giving them a chance to update their pages too. There are also changes coming to the term store, the directory of metadata used across your SharePoint site, which is finally being modernized. The term store has always been a bit of a pain to use, so this is a very welcome change. Microsoft are even adding a new term store analytics page to show you how your terms are being used, giving people who manage the term store more insight into the metadata and more power to act on what's going on. Finally, in SharePoint news, and this is one that's already being rolled out, a new feature lets you link some web parts to a SharePoint list. That means when you select an item in the list, the components linked to it will dynamically update. To use this feature, just add a SharePoint list to your page, then select it in the Connect to Source box in each component's properties. You can then insert values from the list using the format shown on the screen. Finally, there's a new extension to Microsoft Power Automate. Power Automate is the slightly odd new name for the tool that we've all come to know as Microsoft Flow. The new feature, called UI Flows, will let users record and play back tasks in Windows, sort of like Excel macros. UI Flows let you create workflows which can automate apps, injecting data from your workflow and receiving data back from the app. As a simple example, you can record a UI flow which opens the Calculator app on your PC, sends a series of calculations to it, and then grabs the result back into your workflow. When the flow is played back, the calculations will be performed automatically, with Power Automate opening the app, robotically typing in the numbers, and even moving the mouse and clicking the right buttons. Real-world examples of how this could be used could be repetitive data entry, such as captioning image files, or taking data stored from within forms in Excel and entering it into a database or SharePoint list. UI flows don't currently run in the background, so the PC is not usable when a process is running. You must also have the PC turned on and logged in for the workflow to run. Recording and playing back actions is also currently very deliberate and slow, so don't expect lightning fast results just yet. It's still very much an experimental product though, so we expect it to get faster soon. They've already announced unattended automation, which is the ability for UI flows to run without a user being logged onto a device. That means you'll be able to automate Windows and web apps to run automatically on a schedule even if you're not there. We think this is really one to watch, so stay tuned for more. You can try out the UI Flows preview on the Power Automate website. That's it for this month. Do subscribe to our channel to make sure you don't miss out on any future updates, and subscribe to our monthly email at www.company-net.com/roundup.